Everyone felt it, a tension no one could name, an unease that hovered over Oak Ridge Lane like a heavy fog. The children avoided one particular house. Dogs barked at its gate and parents whispered rumors after dark. But no one ever acted. Until one day, a foul smell led to the unthinkable. A shallow grave in a backyard that had been hiding a decaying truth for years. This is the story of how a quiet neighborhood turned a blind eye to horror, and the price they all paid. Subscribe to True Crime Hub as we peel back the layers of a chilling case where silence screamed louder than the truth. Oak Ridge Lane in suburban Missouri looked like any other middle-class neighborhood. Trimmed hedges, swing sets in front yards, holiday decorations in sync. But one house stood out, not because it was run down or abandoned, but because it always felt wrong. The house at 1412 Oak Ridge was owned by Walter Jennings, a 61-year-old retired machinist who kept to himself. His lawn was overgrown. His windows always closed. No one remembered ever being invited inside. And the kids? They said the house felt cursed. One even claimed she heard crying at night. Neighbors called him Quiet Walter. But Quiet Walter held a secret in his backyard that would shatter the neighborhood's illusion of safety. He'd lived there for over 2 decades. Many assumed he was just eccentric, maybe even depressed. Some said he talked to himself. Others said they saw people come and go at odd hours. But Walter never caused trouble, so people turned a blind eye. It was easier that way. Safer. Except it wasn't. What lay beneath the soil of his yard was a ticking time bomb that would eventually erupt and rip through the calm facade of Oak Ridge Lane, revealing horrors far worse than anyone had imagined. It started with a smell. Summer in Missouri can be punishing, and July 3rd was particularly brutal. That morning, the Richardson family noticed it first. A strange, sour stench in the air as they stepped outside to walk their dog. "I thought it was trash," said Emily Richardson. "Maybe a dead animal. We live near the woods. It happens." But by July 5th, the odor had intensified. Children held their noses as they played. Dogs barked incessantly toward Walter's backyard. The smell seemed to seep into everything: clothes, car upholstery, even hair. On July 6th, Ms. Daly, Walter's next-door neighbor, had enough. Her dog refused to enter their backyard. The smell had become nauseating. That evening, she called animal control. The dispatcher sounded unconcerned. "Probably a possum," they said. But when the officer arrived the next morning, it took less than 10 minutes before he radioed for backup. What they uncovered sent a shockwave through the community. Beneath a crudely dug trench covered with garbage bags, wooden boards, and a pile of discarded tires, they found her. The body was decomposing, the skin bloated, discolored. Bugs had already begun their grim work. The smell was suffocating. The officer who discovered the body had to be hospitalized for exposure. The forensic team cordoned off the area. Neighbors gathered outside, whispering, watching. By the end of the day, the entire street was blocked off with police tape. Rumors spread like wildfire. Someone said it was a drifter. No, it was a runaway girl. I heard there might be more bodies. For the first time in decades, Oak Ridge Lane had become the center of a criminal investigation. 2 days later, the body was identified through dental records: 29-year-old Lisa Carver. Lisa had a troubled past. She'd grown up in the foster system, aged out at 18, and struggled with addiction. But she was trying to rebuild her life. She had entered a recovery program in town. The staff remembered her well. She was kind, timid, but hopeful, said Marissa Lane, a caseworker. She left one day for a job interview and never came back. Her disappearance had been reported, but she was an adult. The police did a cursory check and closed the file. She was one of many, but Lisa hadn't just vanished. She'd been buried in Walter Jennings' backyard. Walter Jennings didn't resist arrest. He opened the door slowly when police knocked. He didn't ask why they were there. He just said, "I guess you found her." That sentence sent chills through the lead detective, Marta Ruiz. Jennings was brought in. He refused to speak without a lawyer. But his history did the talking. In 1983, Walter was charged with indecent exposure near a women's shelter. In 1987, a woman claimed he assaulted her after offering her a ride. The case was dismissed due to lack of evidence. Over the years, his name surfaced again and again in minor offenses. But no charges stuck. He moved into Oak Ridge Lane in 1998. Bought the house cash. No mortgage. No job. No visitors. Just the occasional glimpse of him trimming his hedges at dawn. Neighbors thought he was a ghost. But ghosts don't dig graves. On July 10th, cadaver dogs searched the property. They alerted in 2 more areas. Police dug through the hard-packed earth and unearthed 2 more bodies. One was skeletal, the other in an advanced stage of decomposition. Both were female. Both had similar histories to Lisa's. One had gone missing in 2018, the other in 2021. Both had been seen near the same soup kitchen Walter occasionally volunteered at. Each was buried with their shoes removed and hands bound. The MO was clear. He lured women on the edge of society. Promised them help. Shelter. Then he killed them and buried them in plain sight. During a sweep of the home, detectives found a locked chest in the basement. Inside, they found dozens of notebooks. Journals. Each entry chronicled his interactions with women. Their names. What they looked like. Where he met them. What he said to them. The final entries became darker. Obsessive. He wrote about cleansing the world of filth and offering peace to those drowning in sin. Psychologists later described him as a delusional narcissist with violent messianic fantasies. The journals were the nail in his coffin. In the weeks following Walter's arrest, 2 women came forward. One said he had offered her food and a mattress in 2019. She declined. He followed her for 2 days before vanishing. Another said she spent 1 night in his home. He watched her sleep. She never returned. Neither reported him. Who would believe us? They asked. Their testimonies helped paint a fuller picture. Walter had likely attempted this dozens of times. And failed. But no one paid attention. Not until he succeeded. Walter Jennings was charged with 3 counts of murder, illegal disposal of human remains, and kidnapping. At trial, he remained silent. His lawyer attempted an insanity defense. But the journals, the evidence, and survivor testimonies buried that strategy. The jury deliberated for less than 4 hours. Guilty. On all counts. The judge sentenced him to life in prison without parole. Oak Ridge Lane would never be the same. The house was boarded up. Children crossed the street to avoid walking near it. Eventually, the city demolished the structure and turned the land into a memorial park for missing women. 3 crosses stand where the bodies were found. Each year, on July 10th, neighbors gather to light candles. "We ignored the signs," said Emily Richardson. "We just wanted to live our lives. We didn't think monsters could live here. But they can. They did." Walter Jennings was charged with 3 counts of murder, illegal disposal of human remains, and kidnapping. At trial, he remained silent. His lawyer attempted an insanity defense. But the journals, the evidence, and survivor testimonies buried that strategy. The jury deliberated for less than 4 hours. Guilty. On all counts. The judge sentenced him to life in prison without parole. Oak Ridge Lane would never be the same. The house was boarded up. Children crossed the street to avoid walking near it. Eventually, the city demolished the structure and turned the land into a memorial park for missing women. 3 crosses stand where the bodies were found. Each year, on July 10th, neighbors gather to light candles. "We ignored the signs," said Emily Richardson. "We just wanted to live our lives. We didn't think monsters could live here. But they can. They did." The story of Walter Jennings isn't just a tale of murder. It's about the people we fail to see. The cries we ignore. The instincts we dismiss. How many Lisa Carvers are out there? How many monsters are living next door? Speak up. Report what feels wrong. Don't wait until it's too late. For more chilling stories that demand answers, subscribe to True Crime Hub. Stay aware. Stay safe. And remember, silence doesn't protect you. It only protects them.